Hey, good evening. Welcome back to my little gardening show. I wanted to show you my warm weather seedlings and just kind of what I've been up to indoors. So let's get started. First thing I did was I went ahead and made some notes of what I've got planted. You know, the number. This camera's not zooming in real well on these, but tomatoes and then peppers. I don't know if you can see that or not. I got 12 different peppers and actually 13 different kinds of tomatoes. Chadwick cherry being over here. That's got a different number I need to write in my eggplant. So I went ahead and labeled everything out according to the numbers that I have on the seed packets. So it's been a couple weeks now. Here's the first flat of tomatoes. And you see things are looking really good. A lot of them have their true leaves. They're growing relatively straight. They're ready to be potted. I really need to get that done in the next day or two. You notice that some of them are kind of bent over a little bit, but that's fine. When I go to pot them, I'll just make sure that most of that stem is planted. So then it should correct the situation. But the reason why they're that way is because I didn't turn the tray often enough. I say that because I've got these lights here. I'm debating about switching them out, but I've got cool weather bulbs, the kind of blue light you see, and the warm weather bulbs. The bulbs emit different light frequencies, and I've got them alternating so that the plants get the full spectrum of light. But what I've noticed, the cold weather seedlings didn't seem to matter, didn't affect them, but the warm weather, the tomatoes in particular, seem to be sensitive to the light frequencies, and so they tend to grow towards the warmer light. And so, I tried just turning the tray to keep them from bending over, and most of them look pretty good, but a few of them were still bent over. The other problem, and I haven't noticed it as much this year so far, and it's probably because I'm using the Dr. Earth's organic liquid fertilizer that's got kind of a full spectrum of not just the NPK, but the trace minerals as well. I think, 8 or 10, so it's still not everything that they could genetically absorb, take up, but it's enough to get them going and stuff. Anyway, normally, last couple years, what I'd see is they'd be really purple. And you can see that underneath. Those leaves are purple. And they'd be purplish on top, purple veins, deep purple stems, and that's because there's I think it's a phosphorus deficiency or potassium deficiency. I forget which one. I think it's phosphorus. Anyway, whichever one it is, it's usually associated with temperature too, because it's cooler in the basement. Even though I had these started on the grow mat, once they're sprouted and up, I take them off the grow mat. Well, it's still like 55 degrees in the basement, and the plants have trouble taking up that particular nutrient, and so it shows up in the purple leaves and kind of being purplish. But then once I get them outside in the warmer weather, they usually green up and come out of it. So I don't know, that's just been my experience the last 2 years, and so far they don't look that bad. They really look pretty good. The other tray, not so good. You know, I got some that came up real well, others that just didn't for whatever reason. And so I planted another tray of tomatoes, which they're all coming up now. And you can see them kind of leaning towards the warm light. So I should have plenty of tomatoes. Shouldn't be an issue this year as far as variety. Peppers, same way. I've got, you know, some varieties almost 100% germination rate. Others it didn't hardly do anything for whatever reason. Same thing in this tray. You know, and part of it with the peppers at least could be when I had the mat set at. I had it at 70 degrees. And it seemed like things were going real slow, so I went ahead and bumped it up to 72, and that seemed to do the trick as far as getting things to come up. Apparently it can take up to 2 weeks for seeds to sprout. And it's been almost that with the peppers. So I went ahead and replanted them, the varieties that didn't come up that well on the other 2 trays. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully the weather will warm up outside and I can move these into my greenhouse out from under the grow lights. The only other things that I need to start down here, and actually I could direct sow the stuff, is my my watermelon, my cucumbers, my squash, and they tend to sprout pretty quick, pretty vigorous. And so last year I ended up just direct sowing them in the ground and they came up fine. So I may do that again this year and avoid using the whole grow lights and the hardening off process and all that. We'll see. So I guess that's all for now. Until next time, happy gardening. Bye.